Welcome back to another Handyman Land video. The video you're about to see today is a job that I did about 4 years ago, and I found it on the hard drive, and I figured it was entertaining enough to share with you all. Enjoy. So, good morning. Today I'm working in this tiny crawl space. I'm under the house right now and running some hi-hats here. Some new electric to eliminate this old electric that's here, and as you can see, it's not the best way. We have some lines that are running to a living room, dining room, and a garage where we will be eliminating. But first off, I just want to get some of the new power going. I'm putting 2 hi-hats under here, 1 outlet, and the switch will be on this side when you come in the crawl space. So let's get to it. And right here is the diagram that I'm going off, the style of the way I'm wiring this up today. So as of now, I just created my own little diagram real quick, just to make sure I don't make any mistakes, because the way I have everything laid out is different from the original diagram. I have my outlet on one side, which is this one, then this would be the switch, and the source, the light. So I'm having the switch running in here. I'm gonna run a line which will be for the light only, and they will be inside the same box. Then I'll connect everything else to the outlet, to the switch, and at the end there should always be power at the outlet, whether the light switch is off or on. Now, I decided at the last minute that I was going to connect another gang box down at the end, and at least I can have it ready. I don't have to open this box up again in the future. So I could replace 2 outlets that are in the dining room to get rid of that old electric, since this is a clean source of power, meaning there's nothing else on that breaker. And let me get the next gang box set up. So here's my gang box. This is the style that I like getting. I like to ground all my metal boxes. Here's the ground screw, some grounding wire. here's the part that can get confusing with the switch when you connecting it to an outlet, but you want the outlet to be powered at all times. So I like to label my cables here. So on the back you should see the word top. Sometimes they have it on the front. I don't know if you can see that. So top is on, bottom part is off. So you want to connect the top to the light. So here's your light. That's your hot from the light. All your neutrals go together, all your grounds go together. I pigtail the ground for the switch. And then the two hots, one is going to the source and the outlet. You connect those two to the bottom of the switch. Now if you like to make sure that all your grounds are connected, you can get yourself a meter. You don't need nothing fancy like this. Sometimes Harbor Freight gives away some cheap little meters, or they're like about $6. And you could check your grounds. Here I have some leads with some alligator clips, and just take the other lead and you can see that my metal box is grounded. My grounds are ground. The hi-hat is also grounded, and my soon-to-be switch is grounded. So as you see, I label everything. And now to connect all of this to the breaker. So now it's time to put the wires in the box. I just want to show you this neat little tool I purchased on Amazon. Basically, it's to help you force the wires in the box when they're being stubborn. It's awesome. Once you got all your wires pushed inside the box, you want to go turn on the breaker just so you could test this area before you continue closing up everything. Like that, it's easier. You don't have to backtrack to troubleshoot if something is wrong. So turn it on. We know everything's working still right. Off. And my tester is still on, which means everything's wired correctly. Now here's your standard box extender, and we like to use these in situations like here. You have a lot of wires. You don't want to jam and force everything inside this box. That's when you add this guy, and it just makes life easier. You don't have to be trying to crush and push everything or force anything in there. Before you go messing around with these hot wires, you want to make sure there's no power going there. So I have everything nice and tucked in there. I want to show you the box has a little notch there, and you start from the side, then your little notch is right there, and it goes right there. The screw is in. Now you tighten it up. Now I always label my boxes to which number breaker it's connected to. So this is number 4 breaker, and I usually label the lines, what's going in, what's coming out. This is the main source. This is source for the outlet, which it goes into the box for the switch. And I will make a cartoon diagram so you can follow if you run into a situation like this where you would like to have your outlet powered at all times and your switch only to control the lights. Now, this one's labeled outlet because that one is a job for another day. It's getting late. I'm replacing 2 outlets in the living room and dining room. Okay, so this is day 2. I remove the 14 gauge old wire. You can see that was inside this small 3-inch box. Should have never been in there. Look at how many cables are already going inside this small box, and that's that I already removed 2 from this side, which is this will be the second one. I forgot to have the camera rolling when I removed it from in there, but basically I just disconnected it and put some wire nuts on the source that's coming into this box. So it's nothing fancy. You've seen it in my other videos before. So now I'm just going to continue removing this cable. I like to keep my area clean. If the cable's not connected, I love to remove it. So this way, someone in the future ever comes here, they don't think this wire's alive and scared to touch it because it's dangling in the air. And I've seen where wires were dangling in the air like this, and they were alive. And it's scary when you work in some homes. You have to be very careful. Just because you turned off the breaker does not mean that there is another source going into the same box. I've seen it numerous times. So just always be safe when you're working with these old boxes. You don't know who tapped in there and what was the case in the past. These are old homes that I work on. So let me continue removing the old cable, and then I have to run 2 new outlets upstairs, one for the dining room and one for the living room. Quick tip, even though you believe it's off, you might want to check it. Be sure that there's no power before you start cutting cables. These old porcelains, the way you remove them, just unscrew this part right here, and then it just falls out of place. Just want to show you real quick, when I pulled this out, look how it was. No wire nut. This electrical tape is probably older than me. This is why you got to check this old electric in houses like this. I tell you, it just keeps getting juicier. Look at this. Luckily, this house didn't burn down. Now, I was wondering why this box was so loose. They hammer nails inside of there. Please don't do that. Now, I don't care if it's dollar store screws. Don't nail these boxes into your beams or studs. Unbelievable. So now I'll be using this fiberglass wire running kit to feed my new cable, tie it onto my old cable, and feed the new line up. So this is what comes in the kit. You have one that you connect to your line. Let me see if you can see that. Then you have another one that's a hook. And you just tie these up with electrical tape. And it's good to have two people doing this. I'm by myself, so I'll be going up and down the stairs trying to feed this cable up that tight hole. So I just want to show you that I put electrical tape to connect the fiberglass rods to ensure that I do not lose them or they screw off with inside the wall. That will suck. So I managed to fish the wire through. Got it upstairs now. And the more I keep working on this house, the more other problems I keep finding. This line here was tied into the old outlet that was there. And it goes to the other side of the room. The problem is this line, there's no way of fishing this one because this is all chicken wire and cement. And they actually cemented that cable in this wall going across. How I know this is because on the other side, I'll show you in a second. So here's the other side. And what I do is I take an old extension cord and just to do a continuity test. So I can find out if this outlet is the one that's connected on the other side. So I plug in my extension cord, and on this side, the other piece of the extension cord that I cut off, I have some alligator clips tied on there, and I'm going to do a continuity test. So that tells me this is the line that belongs to the other outlet. Let me show you something else. So this line, there's no way I'd be able to fish this. As you can see, that's just cinder block. Let me see if I can shine the light in there. It's just cinder block. And then you have chicken wire and cement there. And what it is it's another layer also of like old sheetrock. There's no insulation in this kitchen. This is why the kitchen's so cold. If you look at it, look in there, it's all hollow. And all you have is just some cement and some old sheetrock. So that's a problem that'll be solved in the future. This whole wall will have to be redone to get this kitchen to be warm again. For now, the only way I'm gonna be able to run power to this area is running along the outside. And they sell numerous things, different styles to be able to do that. And the only thing is your outlet will be sticking out of the wall, but they have all different types that can make it pretty so it doesn't look so horrible. So as of running the wire on the outside, that's up to the homeowner. The way I will do it is I'll run the wire along, drill through here. This is old cable wire that's no longer being used, and then just fish and tie in to the back of the new outlet. I cut the box out, and I want to ensure that these old wires don't touch anything. I put 2 wire nuts and some electric tape. Probably overkill, but I prefer it doing it like this because there's nothing I can do about getting this cable out. It's in between, it's cemented in there. So that's the best I could do for now until we eventually rip this whole wall out. So I got my new line going upstairs, coming into the crawl space, and I'll be tying in at number 4. So this will now feed upstairs in the kitchen, and I'm thinking of adding a security light outside to this project. Yeah, so you gotta see this. The spot that I decided that I was going to drill and make my hole to pass the cable, I uncovered a hidden box. This probably was before this radiator was put in. The electrical box was this low. They left the box in there. They just filled it up with whatever this is. It looks like thick old plaster. Just so happened to be the spot that I chose. And this is the piece that was covering it. Now I just finished reaming the pipe. I'm gonna drill a hole here. This old cable line I just cut. Later on I'll pull it out from the opposite side. That's where I'm gonna make my mark, and I'm gonna drill a hole right there. And the reason why I ream it is because on the opposite side I can't get coupling or fitting on that side. This is just temporary thing until eventually these walls get taken down and this job gets done the proper way. Now for this job I use a masonry bit, and I had it set to hammer and drill. And this is a concrete wall with chicken wire, so you want to ensure when you put your electrical conduit pipe through that you pass the chicken wire and shine the light so you can see what you're actually doing. But we're gonna just move this out the way to ensure that our new cable does not get spliced in any way by the chicken wire. You just want to double check, ensure to see what it is that you're doing, that it's not going to affect the cable in any way. Right now I'm just trying to fit my box. I'm marking what I need to take off to get this box in the wall. I'll change the tip and try to slowly chisel, not to do too much damage. Just make sure when you're doing this part that you don't lose your cable. Now I'll be recycling this box that I took out from here. I just straighten out the ears. I'll put them back in where they belong. They go in like so. If you, maybe I showed it in the beginning of the video. And then these just wrap around the box on the four sides. And I connected a cable connector on the back because I'll be running the new wire straight through so I could get a security light on the outside of the house. I just finished drilling the hole straight through to the other side, outside. And so this is the only size bit I have right now. I have to purchase quite a few more. Maybe I'll do a review on this rigid. I love it. At first, when I purchased this rigid, I didn't have the right battery. Now I do. And it's a fantastic tool. But we'll leave that for another day. Right now, I'm going to show you what I'm doing on the opposite side. So here's the bit that I'm using. And here's the hole. So I'm basically just reaming it until I get the size that I need. Once I get that right, I can be able to push my conduit in there. Almost there. Then I can run my wire. Here's the PVC conduit cement that I'll be using. Right now I'm about to just prep my plastic outlet box for wet locations. This is the box, and it comes 3/4, and it comes with a reducer, so you could get 1/2 inch. I'm about to put Teflon. I prefer putting Teflon And you'll need a adjustable wrench, 10-inch, and some channel locks. Now my outlet box is prepped. Just to show, it comes with 3 reducers and 2 caps. They're 3/4 inch caps, so that'll be an extra, and this reducer be extra, because how I'm running this is have power in and my circuit breaker outlet, and then power out to the security light. I had to purchase these separate, these male adapters, to glue in the conduit pipe, and that is these on the ends. Just want to show you the tool that I'm using to cut the conduit pipe. You can use lots of different ones. This one is the one, I have no idea where this came from, so I can't leave a link in the description of it. Probably, I believe I picked this up at a flea market, and it's a no-name brand, and it cuts the pipe perfect. Place your conduit pipe in place. Use a torpedo level to do this, and mark where you're going to drill. So I have this part hung now. I put a little cement on the end there, and now I'm gonna stop working out here and I'll start working from the other side. So I have my electrical conduit pipe hung. This is how I'm bracing it, and all the way down to the opposite side. And now I'm about to feed this wire through to the outside. Got the line through, and I bent it like so. You can see that. So I'm gonna tuck it in there real nice, and I'm going to put the cover on, and I'm also going to put a cap on the end, just in case any bugs or bees or hornets decide to go in there, and just in case if it rains, because I am done for the day. Just want to note, they only come with 2 screws. Make sure you don't lose any. And that's the cap that I was talking about. I always keep a couple of these in the toolbox for when I can't finish a project and it's a to be continued type of thing. So now I'm about to install my box. So these are, if you're not familiar with the boxes, here's the knockout tabs. So you knock out which one you need. So for my source that's coming from the crawl space, I'll be knocking it out from the bottom. And then the one that's feeding the next outlet at the end, that will be this one here. I'll connect the next outlet here, and then the top will feed outside to the security light that I'm installing. Now I just want to show how this particular box works. Once you get this box in place, once it's inside the wall, as you're screwing, these ears will open up, and as you tighten, hand tighten, then the ears will slowly come and grab onto the inside of the wall. That's how your box stays in place. And if you have the option, there's something for you, another screw to hold on, you can put a screw here, a screw there as well. Outlet is in, and usually there's always some drywall work that's needed. So that's the next step. I decided to eliminate the metal box because there's nowhere to hold on to, so it keeps coming out. I'm just going to upgrade it and put this box in. Now that I'm ditching the metal box and going with a newer box, I'm able to install this USB outlet, which is going to come in handy. If you see with these older boxes, it just barely fits in there. But with the newer boxes, so it's a lot of room. Right now what I did, I just dry fit first, and I put my torpedo on the top right here and also on here to ensure before I make my marks that everything's lined up. To make this easier for yourself, you want to feed your line first. So I got my line out there and I'm slowly bringing it in until I make it to that spot over there. So you want to get your cement glue. You don't need too much of this stuff. It spreads really good. Once you got it all the way around, then you just push it in. Now it's looking good so far. I'm gonna put another clamp right here. All my wires are tucked in place. Good thing I have this tool, makes life easier. Now as for these wire nuts, I will be replacing them later. The big box store just couldn't get the exterior waterproofing wire nuts. They're out of stock, so I'll probably most likely be ordering them online and then I'll do away. But as for now, this will be okay because I have the cover, and the cover comes with a nice seal. And then I'll be closing this part up, capping it on top because I'm running out of time. It's starting to get dark, and because I started too late in the day due to laziness. I just could not get my day started today, even though with my coffee. But to be continued. Just want to show you how it came out. So the conduit's going in. Got the outlet now with USB. Cleaned it up. A little bit of plaster work, as you can see. There's the other outlet. And we just got to finish outside and then connect everything inside the crawl space, and we should be good to go. Now I'm back in the basement in the crawl space, and I don't know if you remember this box. I said I was going to eliminate it. This is where a lot of the lines were running to, and getting ready to get rid of it. And when I opened it up, that's how it is on the inside. That is not the way to do things. This is electrical tape, and it's like so dry. This is a potential fire right here. So I'm really glad that I'm eliminating this electric. This is just a fire just waiting to happen. As you can see, this box also was put in with nails. That's why the box is so loose. So whoever put this box in is the same person that put the other box in on the other side that I showed you earlier. I don't know. These videos are going to be like a part 1, part 2, probably even longer than that. I'm not sure because it's a lot of filming and I don't want to keep the videos kind of short. I am not a licensed electrician. I'm just a handyman. I've been fixing and flipping houses for years now. I used to do this full time, fixing houses for a time, and so I have a lot of experience. But it's scary when homeowners do things like this, and this is the power of YouTube. That's why I like to put YouTube videos out there so people can see and save money, to avoid issues like this, doing something that could burn your house down. Like I said, I'm not a licensed electrician. If you're not comfortable in any way of running electrical, have zero knowledge of it, you should just hire a licensed electrician to do your work, to avoid things like this. This is scary. Here's the security light that I'll be installing. This is the light. It's LED, motion sensor, some of the hardware that came with it. It didn't come with a ground wire, so I'm gonna put a ground wire on here to make life easier. Now I'm hooking up the GFI switch. I just have to hook up the ground now, but just to show you on the GFI switch, line, let's see if I can focus here, line is coming from the source, your panel box, and load is to go to the new light that we're installing. So load will be like for other receptacles or lights, and your line is the line that you hook up, that's your source. Let me just hook up the ground and then I'll install the top. Now I'm getting ready to install this cover. So it looks like, I never installed this cover before, but it looks like you get these two screws in the cover first, in those slots there. And once you get it in, you pop it in place, and then you screw down the outlet into these holes. So that was the way how you install it. One thing I noticed, I was about 1/8 of an inch still with a gap here, so I had to continue screwing it on. I don't recommend you put too much pressure on here when you're trying to hold it in, to just continue just screwing it on, because this is plastic and it can crack. So I just kept on screwing it in until it got tight. Let's see how long this plastic cover actually lasts. If it does break, I will prefer maybe to buy one of the metal ones instead of this. Now I'm getting ready for the security light. I got my ground wire in, and the two shortest ones are the ones that go into the box up top. This long one is the one that goes in the center, and it comes with this gasket and also this piece that pops in the center to close up the hole to ensure water doesn't get in there. It's like a rubber piece that it came with. Just to show you up top how it's looking, it's simple. You got your blacks with your blacks, whites is neutral, your grounds together. I'm using a wiggle nut for the grounds for now. Then we tuck all this in, then we put this bracket in place, then we screw in our security light. Now, just so you know, the screws that this security light came with did not fit inside these holes. You would think they'd be standard by now, but obviously in this case they're not. So these screws actually were extras that cover that I'm using for the receptacle. Before you tighten down all the way, just ensure that your gasket is nice and even all the way around, that is not inside the box, and then tighten it up, then adjust your lights the best that you think for the time being. Then at nighttime you have a better idea. So you have a knob here, this tilts the light up and down, and then here you unscrew this and you could turn your light side to side. So I put my last piece in, which is this little rubber nub there. In case you're wondering what this is for, in the near future we might do a indoor patio right here, and this will be the wiring that will feed the power to that indoor patio. Just getting it ready for the future. So now I'm back in the crawl space. All that's left to do is just connect this line to the number 4 box, and that will power up my 2 new outlets in the dining room, the GFI that's outside, and my new security light. So let's get to it. Okay, I got my wiggle nuts in. All that's left now is to close this box, and then I can turn on the breaker and see if everything's connected right. Okay, I plugged in my tester. Outlet number 1 is good. Outlet number 2 is good. And to test the USB, I'll make a short video on that. I have a special tester that's just for the USB. Okay, outlet number 3 is working good. And let's check if the GFI switch is working. With this tester, you just press the button and it should create a fake short. Lights are off. GFI is working. Just press the button back in right here. There you go. Security light is on. Everything's working great. So thank you for watching another video of Handyman Land. Like and subscribe. Enjoy. Well, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you haven't subscribed, you could do so by clicking that little Handyman Land logo at the corner. And stay tuned, because I have the We Shed project that I've been working on, and that'll be coming out in probably in a couple of months. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be multiple videos on this project. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell icon. I'll see you on the next one. You have yourself a good one. Girls!